Yeah, this film was heavy in a lot of deep undertones, a lot of hidden messages, a lot of seen messages, and I always appreciate films like this, based off of plays, of course, that really get down to the roots of where we have come as a people, black people, and just how a lot of things have changed, but a lot of things hasn't. But I think one lesson, besides the piano lesson, I didn't really learn too much piano, but one lesson that we can, or I can take from this is basically the people in the past, they let them matter. Let them be a guide to you on how you portray yourself in the world and how you make sure to always remember that they came before you and you should always have some respect on their name, no matter what. Welcome back, y'all, to the DeAndre Way. We are back with another Netflix film review. Today, we are going through the film The Piano Lesson. It just came out on Netflix very recently. I've heard of this. It was on Broadway a couple years back. I did not get to go see it, but I am glad I got to catch this movie. This movie was epic. This movie definitely helped me on a stranglehold. You know, and it comes to movies that involve slavery and that time frame. You know, my pops made me watch these movies all the time when it came to the whole movie of Roots, 12 Years a Slave, you know, the Django, everything. Um, and I can appreciate them because I love history as well, and it gives me a fine a new, I guess, a new lens to look at when it comes to different things. Now, um, this movie in particular stars John David Washington, Denzel Washington's son. Denzel was, I believe, the director and executive producer on this film. I believe John David Washington was an executive producer as well. Stars Danielle Deadweiler, Ray Fisher, Erica Badu, Samuel L. Jackson, one of the GOATs, Corey Hawkins, Danielle Brooks, Trey Byers, and Michael Potts. Now, when you turn a play into a film, that's pretty difficult to do to keep it entertaining. I had an idea this was a play once they spent so much time in that one living room, and then what the dialogue they were speaking in, I was like, okay, this feels like play text. You know, I've done plays in my time, and plenty of plays, and I could recognize that pretty quickly off the bat. And someone, I guess, I would be taking it from a different perspective as someone else that does isn't familiar with stage plays, so I can appreciate how they modern, like how they were able to adapt this to the screen and still give it that entertaining movie factor, but keeping it simple to the point of not doing the play justice. This is a screenplay that was directed by Malcolm Washington. I'm assuming Malcolm is actually, so it's not directed by Denzel. Malcolm is Denzel's other son, um, and it's he co-wrote it with Virgil Williams, and it's an adaptation of the 1987 play by August Wilson. Um, and yeah, basically it's set in 1936 Pittsburgh, Steel City, through the Great Depression. 1936 is right before World War II, so that time frame just give you an idea of how things were. Dang, it's almost 100 years ago. Jeez. And it follows the lives of the Charles family in the Doker Charles household after a heirloom, the family piano, an heirloom, I said heirloom, the family piano, which is decorated with designs carved by an enslaved ancestor. So the story behind this piano is kind of what's bringing everything together. The big synopsis is, you know, the story centers around the conflict between the two siblings, Bernice and boy Willie Charles, descendants of a family with a painful history of enslavement as they grapple with the fate of the priceless heirloom. Now, all the families have had painless, all the black families have had painful, I said painless, painful histories at this point. But this is the one that we are focusing on. And, you know, this piano is very unique. It has the carvings of the whole family in there, And I think this thing is priceless. Now, back in the day, sure, if somebody were to say, okay, we're going to give you $100,000 to this piano, yeah, I'm selling it. I appreciate the ancestors, but I'm sorry, I got to sell this piano to make sure the next 100 years are better than the last. So I don't blame our brother Willie Charles for wanting to sell this piano, but I understand why Bernice wouldn't want to. There's two sides of the story. I don't take offense to either of them. It just depends on the situation and honestly how much money you're getting for this piano, because at the end of the day, it's a material item. Um, they seem to be people of the Lord, and I believe the Lord says we must not cherish or hold on to any idols. And that piano is an idol in this sense if you're treating it as bigger than a person itself. That's just my take on it. That's just my take. But yes, the film opens up in 1911 with a harrowing prologue. Boy Charles, the sibling's father, steals the piano from the Sutter family. The Sutter family is the white family that's enslaved the Charles family. And the former enslavers of the Charles family, the piano, intricately carved faces with African ancestors, represents the family's heritage and resilience. We got that. The story was told by Mr. Samuel L. Jackson. Boy Charles' act of reclaiming it is met with fatal retribution when the Sutters set the train boxcar aflame with him trapped inside, establishing the piano as a symbol of both pride and sacrifice. Now, totally get that. Now, with this, how do I put this? This they had an essence of witchcraft and wizardry going on in this when it came to the demons or ghosts or ghouls that surrounded the piano when it started messing up things at the end of the movie. We'll get there, but that was kind of confusing to me. Um, and I did not understand everything that was going on because I'm like, okay, is something the real story they're telling, or they're just like making up a bunch of fairy tales? I definitely don't believe in those things. I believe that things happen for a reason, but I don't believe in spirits turning on and off the lights. I just don't. I don't. I think that's a faulty light. you know, um, I don't believe in those things. But if you do, good. That's fine. That's just what I think. But when you add those to this kind of story, it kind of just makes it seem like makeshift believe to me. That's the only one quarrel about the film is like, is it supposed to be realism or is it not? But anywho, yes, in 1936, Boy Willie arrives in Pittsburgh with his friend Lyman. So Lyman is a chill, easygoing brother. He seems like a good dude. Um, he's on with Willie to kind of be his right hand man, but he's definitely trying to get up out the south. And they hauled a truckload of watermelons to sell. And Boy Willie is determined to sell the piano to purchase the Mississippi farmland where his ancestors were enslaved, aiming to transform the land into a symbol of liberation and ownership. I think that's a terrible idea. Terrible idea. Why would you go back to the Mississippi where your family was enslaved when there's still heavy segregation and there's still heavy racism to 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 make it as a symbol of liberation and ownership when you're just going to get treated worse and you might have your stuff burned down there as well. Like I get the premise and the symbolism behind it, but I think it's better to start anew and not go back to the old. I don't see what's down there that you crave to go back for. There's no uh, just off the base of the time the country was in. I mean, there's a reason why all these people are fleeing. These migrants are fleeing their countries and coming to the United States. They're not like, oh, let me go back to the place where my ancestors were and I'm going to start anew there. No, 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 no. I don't agree with the migrants being in the States illegally, but I do understand their point of view if they're trying to get out and start anew in a new place. And hopefully the next 100 years of their family lineage is better than the last. So I think that mindset is kind of dumb to me to want to go back, but that's just me. I get the symbolism point of view behind it, though. You have to have some kind of inner, I guess, inner fulfillment to like preserve something of the family. But I think preserving their memory is more than enough. I think in some sort of way or fashion, rather than owning that, getting back to the land where you could area where you can buy land to live down there where you're not welcome in the first place. And you're going to get treated just as bad as they were, if not even worse nowadays, because now they got even better ways different ways to treat you terribly. But yes, that's like somebody getting out the hood and moving back into the hood. because they trying to preserve because their grandma grew up in the hood. Like I want to buy the apartment my grandma was in. Bro, what? That don't make no sense. But yes, however, Bernice, who lives in Pittsburgh with her younger daughter, Maritha, refuses to part with the piano, seeing it as a sacred artifact to their family history and a reminder of their struggles. Y'all, it's important to have reminders of the struggle, trust, and believe. But I think your bank account should suit the reminder enough. You know, that's the struggle right there in itself. To have things remind me, sure, maybe like a watch, or maybe a ring, or maybe something real small and intangible. But the piano, I agree with her not wanting to sell the piano because some things are priceless, but it depends how much you are getting, how much money you're getting from this piano. If you could tell, if it was Bernice, you could sell this piano and you could buy your own house, own it. You should do that. I think Boy Willie has the right idea in wanting to sell it to get some land, but just in the wrong spot. And then she has the right idea to want to keep it because of the family history and then a reminder of what he's done. But I think if you maybe cut out the carvings of the piano and whatnot, put it on a new piano, or get a replica something with the same carvings on it that you could just take with you wherever you go, and it's not some big thing because this piano isn't something that you could just take with you wherever you go. You know, like if you leave town and your place gets burned down, the piano's gone. You have nothing to show for it now. Now what do you have? So I think they're both right, but both wrong in different instances. And sell the piano and get some land up north. That's what I think. Lots of good land at this time for cheap that they could get. And this piano looks like it's worth a nice dollar as well. But the siblings' arguments bring light to the piano's significance and the ghosts of their past, both figurative and literal. Bernice, still mourning their late husband, Crawley, insists on preserving the piano as a memorial, while Boy Willie views its sale as a means to reclaim their family's autonomy. I agree with that, yes. Their uncle Doka provides context, narrating the piano's history and the family's suffering under enslavement, which led to its initial accusation. Supernatural elements intensify the drama as Sutter's ghost begins to haunt Charles' household. There's this ghost of Sutter's past well going down where Sutter got pushed down a well, and now there's a ghost that I don't believe in happening with this piano, which why is the ghost haunting that family? They didn't push him down the well. And I don't even think we got the answer of who pushed him down the well or how he really died. They was talking about this the whole time. I was waiting to find out the real story, but we never got that. But they're getting haunted by this ghost for whatever reason. Targeting Boy Willie, which maybe he's the one who pushed him down the well. Maybe that's the reason why. We never got those answers. But Bernice attributes the ghost presence to Boy Willie's arrival and his disruptive intentions regarding the piano. Y'all, if the piano was carved by one of the slaves, somebody related to Boy Willie, then why is he the one being haunted for it? That doesn't make any sense. If anything, it should haunt the white family that was the slave owners at the time who carved the piano. That's who it should be haunting. Why is it haunting this brother? It doesn't make any sense to me. Um, and yes, meanwhile, Lyman seeking a fresh start begins to develop feelings for Bernice, adding a layer of interpersonal tension. Yes, our brother Lyman's starting trying to get it on and popping with Bernice, which they look a good couple together. They both somewhat mild mannered, and they seem Lyman seems like a good dude who will take care of Bernice. I'm with him on that. Make some light skinned babies up in there. And amid the turmoil, Bernice reveals her struggle to move on from the past, while Boy Willie's determination to sell the piano tests the siblings' bond. Did not get that from it. The climax unfolds when Sutter's ghost manifests, violently forcing the family to confront their shared history and the piano's power. So they get some pastor, preacher dude to come in there and do some exorcism on the family piano and something like that. That's the best way I can put it. Kind of weird to me. I don't know what the exorcism had to do with too much with getting the ghost out. I know that's what you got to do is spray water and all these things. Like I said, I don't believe in ghosts and ghouls and witches and all that. I mean, back in the day, the Salem witch trials, they were killing somebody because they thought they were a witch when they really probably weren't. So I don't believe in that, and that whole aspect of it was just goofy to me. I mean, I'm a realist, and yeah, some strange things have occurred and happens. Aliens, Bigfoot, mythological creatures, animal, all these things. But ghosts, I'll believe it when I see some ghostly evidence, and I've not had that in the modern day history, when we have technology, there's been no stories of ghosts, y'all. That's all I gotta say. But in the past, when we have, no place, nowhere to get the evidence of ghosts because we didn't have filmography, it's just all these ghosts popping around. But where are they at now? I don't know. I think it's Illuminati, if you ask me. But the climax unfolds and Sutter's ghost manifests forth in the film to confront the shared bond with history's power. In the dramatic resolution, Bernice plays the piano for the first time in years, invoking the spirits of their ancestors to exorcise Sutter's ghost and affirm the piano's rightful place in their lives. The film concludes with the siblings reaching a tenuous understanding. Boy Willie abandons his plan to sell the piano, acknowledging its value more than a commodity. The piano remains in the Charles home, a testament to their family's endurance and legacy. Don't know if that's a good testament. I think they should sell the piano to get the money to show the births of the new beginnings, and so there won't be any more ghouls and ghosts regarding this piano if that's what it's centered around. But I guess the ancestors were there to help them. But this is something that was carved and built, not something that was like edged in stone from God. This film was good though. Look, regardless of my views on like the plot, the film was quality. We got a little some dance and music scenes. Erica Badu in there singing in the club. We Boy Willie, he was amazing. Like the Washington, he did amazing with that role, and I definitely am looking forward to seeing some more things. Love seeing our boy Samuel L. Jackson, being the authoritarian figure that he is, and looking pretty much over everyone, and being the head of household to a degree, and head of sense, I guess you could say. And I think this film definitely it was an interesting watch. Now, if you're not into plays, it can seem a little slow or boring, but I definitely loved it, and I'd give this probably an 8 out of 10. Definitely a quality watch. Like I said, there are things to take from it. As a black man, I definitely think knowing where you come from and respecting the grounds your ancestors stood on, but also you have their name and you putting their name in a good light for everyone to see is what they would want, um, and just honoring their name more than anything. So yeah, y'all, check it out. Like I said, it's new on Netflix. It's top two last I checked, so pretty good, I'd say. Let me know what you guys think of the film. Let me know if you believe in ghosts or not, and we can tune in next time, y'all. So, Merry Christmas as well. This was one of our last episodes, reviews of the year. We got a couple more to go, but we almost done with the 2024, y'all. Can't wait till 2025. So we out here, y'all. Peace, blessings, deuces, and have a great rest of your day.